Hello everybody, it's VerticalSandwich. Welcome back to Post-Commentary Hand of Fate. The Dark Crystal.
Heed the words of wizards.
You are passing a tower in a deep forest when a wizard appears. I am Bazagra the Wizard, and I have a proposition for you, adventurer. I have located a powerful dark crystal, but the cave that holds it is infested with lava golems. The primitive brutes sense its great puissance, but are unable to utilize it. Puissance? I think I had to look that word up. If you go and clear the cave for me, I will fashion the gem into a magical device with miraculous healing properties, which we both may use in the future. So what say you, ruffian? Will you aid me and yourself? So yes, do not tarry. I anticipate your victory and swift return. And we get the cards token. It'll open the Dark Crystal Part 2, which is fighting like 5 lava golems.
I have made my wager. I'll also...
Alright, the pirate map!
You have questions, and I will provide...
In a dark seaside town, you inspect the pirate map that you found on the Drunken Wench. It marks the location of a small island. A local fisherman offers passage to the island marked on the map for a fee of 10 gold. So yeah, 10 gold. That's fair. You sail out to the island, which is covered in trees and dominated by an old volcano. You explore for many hours, finally coming across an old tomb hidden in a small cave. The inscription reads, "Here lies Drak Torin, slayer of dragons in the Second Age." You pry open the stone coffin, but find only a strange scroll inside. Alright, and now we'll unlock a strange scroll. The writing on the parchment is in no language you've ever seen before. You take it anyway and leave the island. So there's that.
Haunting as the Queen of Skulls perishes, we know the game is almost done. The kings are gathering now.
Alright, for accepting Bazagra the Wizard's quest, Dark Crystal Part 2. And for following the pirate map, Mysterious Parchment. Don't even get me started on this Mysterious Parchment.
One more round.
Such a pain.
You've earned it. How bare my cabinet now. All sorts of terrible things live in caves. Are you sure? Ouch. If only you had a meal.
Alright, the Mysterious Parchment. You have to have 150 gold to decipher this thing. In a far-flung village, you stumble upon a small church to the old gods. Inside, you find a monk named Petward, who claims to be able to translate the parchment you found in the Dragon Slayer's tomb. It's a very old language. Few would even recognize it, let alone be able to read it. My services won't be cheap, but know that our small village will benefit greatly from your gold. So you have to play a game specifically to try to keep this amount of gold. Petward the monk puts your gold into a large chest, locks it, and then returns to inspect the parchment more closely. The monk reads for several minutes, then says, "I haven't deciphered all of the text, but it seems to describe a challenge or ritual." There were 7 sacred items, relic imbued with the power of dragons, used by great warriors in ages past. They can be earned only by completing a series of tasks. So the card's token is now ours, and now we will get a series of tasks, and they will all be ridiculous, except the first one. So yeah, you kind of have to play a game where you sell a bunch of items, like sell all your starting items and just try, you know, cursed treasure and things like that to try to keep your gold count up to 150 in case you run into this thing. I actually ran into it twice with over 120, but not quite
I'm afraid
150.
that is where this round ends. Some other time, perhaps.
There's a giant pause here. I don't even know what I was doing. Who knows? I mean, at this point, I was recording post-commentary videos, so I was just doing the grind without recording live commentary. So, I wasn't saying anything. I was maybe taking a drink or something. Just drinking coffee. Because that's what I'm always drinking. I'm like a 3-pot-a-day coffee drinker. So yeah, so each of the tasks will involve you having high stats in one area. Except, again, for this first one. I don't know exactly what the point of the first one is. So yeah, there'll be one where you have to keep your food count way high. There'll be one where you have to keep your blessing count way high, and then there'll be one where you have to keep your max life full and over 100, which is really crazy. The one which actually, the only one that gave me a lot of trouble aside from this 150 gold one, which the 150 gold one was the hardest. There's a 50 food one, and that was a little rough. I hit that one a couple times without being able to do it. But there's one where you need 6 blessings, and that was not a problem. Okay, for having the mysterious parchment translated, you receive the following card: Caustic Geysers. Which literally shows a guy's hand being eaten off by geysers.
All the world is a game board, and us men and women merely players.
There we go, Caustic Geysers.
I alone do not play.
You approach Mount Athos, intent on completing the first task required to claim the dragon relics.
And I have predestination.
You explore the base of the mountain until you find the altar. Unfortunately, it sits in a small alcove just beyond a smoldering lake. The skeletons of various animals dot the shore of the lake. Geysers erupt randomly from within and around the lake. Will you attempt to reach the altar? And, yeah, of course we will. Of course.
Choose from these options.
And there we go. We made it. You keep to the sides of the lake, intent on reaching the altar. Geysers burst all around you, and although your skin is mostly covered, you are still lightly burned. So I get a health pain card. The altar is a simple collection of carved stones and arrangement. You recite a prayer to the old gods and make your way back around the lake. Days later, you return to the remote village and seek out Petward the monk. Ah, yes, the scroll. Let me fetch it from my study. The next task is to undertake a pilgrimage to the ancient temple of Iobis, the old god of wisdom. That temple is very far away. You will need many provisions to make the journey. And we get the cards token. So yes, the next card will be the pilgrimage, and you have to have 50 food. If you are committed to fulfilling this prophecy, then prepare yourself. I will send to you a map with instructions on how to find your way there and back again. So 50 food. You need 50 food to do that one.
Sail away.
It's kind of fun to see these two identical cards next to one another. So, Sea Journey. Finally. So, we've already gone through this several times. The front gate, if you get a huge success, you get to skip the next one. We couldn't have failed that because of the highlighted failure card. Alright, you're gonna be sailed with us. I need to know more about you. And finally, we got it. You parlay what little you know of Ember Seeds into a string of compliments regarding the quality of Captain Brogger's ship, and point out that the captain's skepticism is a sign of professionalism. Your cargo is swiftly loaded, and you set sail. Finally. Out on the sea, the Peregrine's route quickly meets up with that of the smugglers. Captain Brogger notices how closely you're watching it. Do not worry, my friend. Those brigands will not attack us. They have their own cargo to worry about.
I will happily wager on the outcome.
Suddenly out of the water spring the tentacles of the Kraken, blanketing the smuggler's boat with a ferocious speed. The smugglers aboard leap into the water to find safety, and fortunately for you, their nearest refuge is the Peregrine's Talon. Soon bandits are boarding from all sides, intent on commandeering the ship to make up for the one that he just lost to the Kraken. So 2 monster cards. You're gonna have to fight a battle here. 3 of dust and 2 of dust. You direct Captain Brogger to get all his crew and passengers below deck and ready the weapons you've smuggled aboard. Or you brought aboard, I don't. So yeah, gonna kill 5 thieves. Easy fight here. Oh, especially apparently I had Wrath of the Old God, so it's 4 thieves. Notice how I'm not even taking them seriously. Although, that was some weird timing where that was stuck in, and I couldn't counter, and he wasn't gonna throw. Yeah, I'm probably wearing Hag's wraps right now, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what I'm doing to these guys. When the ship saved once again, you confessed to Captain Roger that you were in fact here investigating the smuggling boats and their connection to the Kraken. I'll consider you saving the ship a fair trade for your lives. And the card's token is now ours. Finally. And Blood Auction 4. Now, we've obviously seen enough Blood Auctions to know exactly how they go.
Will unlock more cards if you can defeat this encounter.
Except this one we can bid 120. And that gives us a 2 out of 2 chance, or a 50-50 chance. So that's kind of nice. And we have the 1 fail card marked, so it was almost impossible for us to fail this. So, there we go. That is Blood Auction 4. 2 more to go. Alright, for completing the Caustic Geyser quest, we receive Pilgrimage. For seeing the Kraken firsthand, you receive this card. The Kraken Unleashed. And for winning the Blood Auction, you receive these cards. And Blood Auction 5. So I'm going to show you my first encounter with the Kraken. It's ridiculous.
Try again. No food. Hard times lie ahead.
So Krakens have been the mates of ship merchants for decades. They're always more active in times of strife. And your search for the Kraken comes to an abrupt and violent conclusion.
Win this.
In the midst of a sea crossing, your boat slows to a standstill despite a stiff breeze in the sails. You notice the smell of rotting fish only briefly before the tentacles emerge over the sides of the boat and onto the deck. You're being attacked by a Kraken! So, the way the Kraken fight works, the Kraken is a boss. It consists of a head and 2 tentacles. And what the Kraken will do is it will summon scales. It will summon like regular lizard men and magic like lizard men and the Jack, Queen, or King of Scales. And they're a distraction. The Kraken throws those onto the place you have to stand before it will let you. You have to fight them. You have to get away from them and attack the Kraken. So see, it'll pop up one of those, and the lizard men come out. Don't be fooled by the lizard men. They have very little to do with the fight with the Kraken. Oh yeah, and the Kraken will electrify these gates. It's so stupid. But when he does this, you want to hit the ball by the edge of the claw, like where the claw joins the rest of the tentacle. You want to hit that and burst it. And that will count as a hit. And if the Kraken puts his head near the boat and doesn't breathe fire, then you beat him up there too. If he breathes fire, you can't hit him. He's just being an obstacle. The one thing that's really nice about that is if he breathes fire on the lizard men, it's like an insta-kill. It's great. Now, of course, I don't know any of this right now. So your primary purpose in this fight is to hit the Kraken. You could kill wave after wave of these guys, and they'll keep coming out. But, right now, I should be beating up that claw. Because these guys won't turn into other lizard men until I've done damage to the Kraken. And then there'll be like more tentacles in the background. And if he hits you with a tentacle, it does crazy damage. You can actually roll over the electrified gates without getting hit by them. So I think at that point I had an idea that you could hit him, but I didn't really think that it was a thing you would want to spend some time on. And of course it is! It's the one thing you want to spend time on. So this thing is about to kill us. And so the next Kraken encounter you will see from me is going to be the successful one. Which will be probably in a couple videos. And I will see you guys